What is up, guys? My name is Chase, and today let's talk about Amiibo.
Amiibo!
When the Wii U first came out in 2012, it was revealed that the gamepad controller would support NFC, or Near Field Communication. Over the next 2 years, the NFC reader was used for only one game, Pokemon Rumble U. But then, during an investors meeting in 2014, Nintendo showed off a first prototype for their new NFC figures. The figures were said to work in Nintendo games like the figures from Skylanders and Disney Infinity. However, unlike Skylanders and Disney Infinity, the Nintendo NFC figures would support two-way communication. That means that not only would the figures be able to transfer into the game, but the game data can also transfer into the figure itself. Then, during E3 2014, Nintendo officially announced their new NFC figures called Amiibo.
I'll get you, Mario. No way. I'm not gonna win. Ha! Ha!
The very first Amiibo figures would be released in tandem with Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. The Smash Bros. Amiibo were released in waves, with many of the figures being sold out and becoming rare collectibles. Characters like the Animal Crossing villager and the Wii Fit trainer became nearly impossible to find. Nintendo continued to release waves of Smash Bros. Amiibo, but they also started introducing Amiibo for their other series. The first we got was the Super Mario series, which was released alongside Mario Party 10, the absolute worst Mario Party game ever. But that's another story. We also got Animal Crossing Amiibo, The Legend of Zelda Amiibo, Mario Odyssey Amiibo, and even Animal Crossing Amiibo cards, which was an interesting experiment that put Amiibo functionality in a collectible card form. All of the Amiibo figures had different functions for different games. To be honest, it's actually pretty difficult to keep track of which games are compatible with the different Amiibo. It would take a mad scientist to figure out which Amiibo work with which games. Or you could just look up Amiibo on Wikipedia for a handy little list. Anyway, now that we got all of that out of the way, let's dive into my pros and cons of Amiibo. My first pro is that the Amiibo figures look really cool. While you do have a lot of your standard run-of-the-mill Amiibo like Mario, Nintendo also released a bunch of really unique looking Amiibos. One of my favorite line of Amiibo were the yarn figures that were released with Yoshi's Woolly World. There were 3 colors of yarn Yoshi, a yarn Poochie, and the impossible to find Mega Yarn Yoshi. I also really love the 8-bit Amiibo, which were Mario and Link for both of their anniversaries. These figures had an 8-bit look to them while still being 3-dimensional. So all in all, I think the Amiibo figures look really cool. My next pro is the cool functionalities. As I mentioned earlier, Amiibos weren't the first figures to feature near-field communication, but they were one of the first of its kind to feature two-way communication between the games and the figures. It's really cool to have unique Amiibos that keep their individual data stored on them. For example, if I scan my Mario into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, he'll be at whatever level I made him. It makes it feel like these figures have a life of their own. Not in a creepy way. Alright, so those are my pros, now let's move on to my cons. My first con with Amiibos is the price. By the way, just a random side note, I don't know the plural of Amiibo. I've been switching between Amiibo and Amiibos. I don't want to say too many negative things about the price because I get it. There's a lot of tech packed into these little figures, so it would make sense that they would charge more than what you would think. Amiibo figures can run you anywhere between $8 to $16 depending on what the figure is. There were even some figures that would exceed that price, like the large Detective Pikachu Amiibo, which costed $30. So I could understand both sides of the argument. On one hand, they might seem like just pieces of plastic that are similar to toys, but I can also understand that there are some features under the hood that require a higher price. My next con with Amiibo is the limited functionality. There was a big controversy around the early days of Amiibo that you could only use one game per Amiibo.
If you decide to use your Super Smash Bros. Amiibo in Mario Party 10, you will need to erase that figure's Smash Bros. Amiibo data.
Because of that, it felt like all of your Amiibo were restricted to one game. Along with that, I never really felt like Amiibos had the best functionalities in-game. I know I just mentioned earlier that they have cool functionalities, but I don't know if they were like the most useful. For example, in some games, Amiibos would give you special items like in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In other games, they would just give you some kind of a skin like Mario Kart and Yoshi's Woolly World. So it always felt like a guessing game whether or not the Amiibo functionality would be worth it. In conclusion, Amiibos are a really interesting product from Nintendo. I do have to say that it is a genius idea because, a bunch of people want to collect them. One of my favorite things about Amiibos is the culture that surrounds it. All the message boards of people talking about where to get the rarest Amiibos are really fun. While the functionality can sometimes be really lackluster in my opinion, the Amiibo figures can make for a really nice collection, especially if you put them all on display. Let me know in the comments what Amiibos you guys have in your collection. If you want to see more of my Nintendo related videos, make sure you check out some of the videos below. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and ring that notification bell. For now, thank you guys for watching. My name is Chase, and I will see you again soon. Bye.